Well, well, well. What's going on? Very interesting day to say the least. Bitcoin nearly down 15-20%. Now it's up 0.56%. Ends up very well. What do we know? What's going on, people? What is happening? What's good? What's good? Infinex, man. Rage? Nah, there's no rage here, man. Nah. Oh, God. I can't believe it. XRP didn't even do anything. I'm gutted. I'm absolutely gutted. What did Ethereum do? Hold on, let me look before we start talking. Yeah, okay. I'm happy with that. Anyways, what's going on, people? Is everybody all good? What's happening? Steve was pressing the wrong buttons, probably. Who we got in the room tonight? What's good? Straight Pippin, what is happening? Who we got in here? Starreach, Polaco, Polaco Punch. Is that something I need to know? Jedi, Kendall, Critania, what's good? What is good? Wonder Dog, all members, patrons, subscribers. What is good, man? What is good? Abstract, he asked for the shout out. You got it. Yeah, today has been a somewhat interesting day to say the least, guys. We've got a little bit of learning to do with regards to what has happened in the marketplace today. Chaos. Yeah, it's crashing, right? Bitcoin doomed. Okay, cool. Bitcoin's doomed. It's at that point when things change. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. What's good, System Hack? Let's start talking some charts because I am flat exhausted from today. All right. I am done. I'm telling you now, today they worked numbers. Today I felt the test. All right. I felt it. Now, I don't know what happened with you guys, but boy, yeah, Steve's fault. That's what it's all about. Hello to all these people. Hello, new people stepping in. All right, then. Let's have a conversation, guys. Let's have a conversation and flip this screen and let's understand exactly what's been going down today. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you what happened today. So let's just consider the following over here. Let me just break it down to you like this. So, Bitcoin today, from the Asian session, all right, we had this controlled move up. I'm going to get straight into it, guys. So sorry if I'm not saying hello to any of the regular guys. I just want to get this done for you so you guys know where you stand. So, again, always look back, see what's happened, okay? Because remember, market makers can't automatically just dump billions of dollars worth of crypto, or should I say, they can't move that much liquidity in one moment unless they are what? Crashing. Unless something really messed up has happened in the marketplace, right? Something that is really going to affect everything, okay? Now, Bitcoin starts to rise in the Asian session, pins the high. They're working the highs, okay? This is why it's important to pay attention to the pins, all right? Especially on the 1 hour time frame. So important, okay? Now, the move that was triggered today, okay, took out very important levels. But I want you to understand something. If we zoom out and we go back in time and we go to a very interesting point in the chart. Now, Sunday last week. All right. Which brings us to the 8th. No, 2 weeks ago. The 8th of June. We were in exactly the same move. Monday, false move week beginning. Now, if the move doesn't happen straight away on the Monday, okay, it can lead on to a Tuesday. Remember, it's a guideline. We anticipate something's going to happen on a Monday where the true intention will be revealed the next day. Funnily enough, it followed into the Tuesday, and in the same day, they moved back. But look what happened here. 2 weeks ago on Sunday, there was aggressive moves to the downside. All right? And then they dropped, and then they dropped. It was this green vector candle that triggered the return back up. Now, look. It came back down towards the 30K mark. It hit 30,938 and bounced all the way back up. What was interesting, if you go and watch, actually, I'm going to demand that you watch it. Go and watch the stream from the 8th of June and go and watch them all the way through till the 10th. Okay? It's so important you understand what was going on at this point and what was being discussed. Okay? Because the same thing happened today, but better. All right? I'll start. They drop price, 3 pushes to the low. Vector candle comes in. They move price back up in the same session. From this move to the downside, when everybody was Bitcoin crashing, bear market collapsing, it's going to go to zero, Bitcoin is nothing, to recovering more than 50% of the move back and approaching towards the daily open for that session. Okay? That was a very strong return back up. We then had a bit of a retrace and then a continuation back up, which then sent Bitcoin all the way back up towards the 38 mark. So from straight down from the 30 all the way up to the 38,000 point. Okay? What's interesting about today's behavior? The same thing happened today, but they got busy. The Composite man stepped in. Okay? Check this. Asian session, rise. Daily open is the purple line. All right? They dropped it. Then they started encouraging people to go short. Chaos across the board. Bitcoin, how far will it go? Drops, drops. This little stop hunt rise, collapse, drop down. Finds rejection at the 13 EMA, comes back down. Big vector candle, another vector candle. Then they spike the low. Now look at where they spiked the low. Drop over to the 4-hour time frame, okay? And zoom to your left. And what do you see? Bitcoin recovered all of this wick. Okay, sorry, near enough all this wick right here. Okay, she came all the way back down towards the 29 mark, and then she stabilized and moved away. So this was the zone. It came all the way to 28,781, and that zone was 28,321. So close. Okay. Now, what's important about today's behavior is this. All right. You can see on the 4-hour time frame, you've got this massive vector candle. And this is a clear confirmation that they do favor prices to go higher. However, you've got to understand where it's coming from. This vector candle, if this move is a fake move or a move to take out the stops for the guys who went short, all right, this green candle will get recovered. And we will certainly come back down. All right? But based on what we understand and how they're behaving, and it's ironic enough that they came in at the last minute and reversed price up. If you had paid attention, we would have said to you, okay, that the new 4-hour candle was going to trigger something. What they did was they spiked the low and then they came back up. They recovered the full red vector candle, right? Now, what was really important for me was the fact that if they finished up on the day, then we knew that the market maker or Mr. Composite man was in full control of the move that we witnessed today. Okay? Complete control. Wonderfully in control. All right? Now, earlier on, we were looking at the 13 EMA and we wanted price to come above the 50 EMA on the 1-hour time frame to confirm that price should be going higher. So once the 13 EMA crosses the 50, price should be going higher. And we were looking at it from down here thinking, man, it's got a long way to go. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they shift out of the zone. They recover the vector 1, vector 2. Okay? Now we've managed to come back up to this point. If I drop onto the 15-minute time frame. Patrick, how you doing, my friend? We come over to the 15-minute time frame. What do we see? We see full recovery of every vector in this zone. Happy days. But we are now witnessing another V formation. Okay? This V formation is brilliant. Drop over to the 1 hour. Look, what was interesting about this pattern is this. The RSI. It didn't break the volatility band. Massive divergence. RSI comes down towards the volatility band. Bang, straight back up over the signal, back above the market base, and even goes into the volatility band. All right. This move was huge today, guys. All right. Absolutely huge. Okay. Unbelievable. So, this is what we need to understand. What's going to happen next? The fact that price has managed to stay above the daily open is very important. How can you come back from nearly a 15% drop in price, 15% plus, to finishing up for the day? What is that telling you? It's telling you one or two things. It's either a stop hunt low, rise, taking out the stops, or they are actually stepping in now to try and raise Bitcoin to start recovering these previous moves, or should I say these vectors of price from the downside. But what's important is we are now approaching towards the psychological zones. These zones are important. Ideally, I want to see Bitcoin continue up, try and take these points right here. Okay. We could be seeing an inverse head and shoulders, a bit of an awkward inverse head and shoulders. I mean, price would need to come down a little bit more and then bounce away, which is pretty much what happened here. Is history repeating itself? This is what we need to understand. Are we at a point where they're just going to do the same thing over and over again, except this time there's so much more conviction? Yeah? Flipping over to Ethereum. I mean, I'm not really paying attention to Ethereum. I know some of you guys are trading it, but you can see exactly the same setup. Came away from the daily open, and then she ended up finishing up for the day. Look at how close those two white lines are. That's the daily open for Ethereum from yesterday's session, or today's session as such, and now we got the new session coming into play. All right. Notice how this green vector candle has already been recovered in the same from after the candle preceding it, and then they move back up. So Ethereum has a lot of liquidity to take on. Look at how close she is towards her psychological zone, psychological low and high. All right. Very important point in the chart. Gonna get these drawn up. Keep them purple, keep them dark. All right. Easy game. But we're not out of the woods yet, guys. Even flipping over to Bitcoin, we're not out of the woods. They need to break above the 50 EMA. Look at how they're trying to contain that point. Sydney is going to get wind of this. All right. They're going to get wind of this move. There's going to be a continuation. All right. That doesn't mean you blindly just open positions and start riding the move to the upside. You need to wait for a clear confirmation that price is going to move. So the first confirmation that you're looking for is what? You need to wait for price to get above the 50 EMA. Once that has been established, this is on the hourly. Once that's been established, you need to wait for the 13 EMA to cross over the 50 EMA to determine that the momentum is favoring higher prices. Okay. PC Shed, what's good? Zachary, how you doing, bro? You want me to look at that? Ah, man. Right. I'm going to have to set the whole thing up on dot. Let me have a look. For the nature of the cause, let me just see if I can actually do it. Here's dot. Nothing much with dot, really. Notable volume, vector candle to the lows. Where's she got to? There's not that much history for dot, so I can't really look back. All right, so dot is just finding its feet as such. All right. But Bitcoin, TDI, people want me to explain the TDI. The TDI is just a posh version of the RSI. That is it. All right. Diamond Life, how you doing? PC Shed, what's good? Steve's here, guys. Everybody show some love to Steve. He moved the market today. He sold his 87 cents worth of Bitcoin. He moved the market and then he went back in again. If you know when stocks options, I saw you asking this question, Dale. Okay, so if you know when stocks options expiring, does their stock always drop that day? Depends. It depends which options are coming into the money or out of the money as such. You know, when options expire, it just means there's going to be a release of liquidity. Where that decision goes and what happens is determined by the release of that option. Okay, you won't know until the option is released. All right, now I'm not really too strong on options as such. Those who understand the deltas and what have you, options is just a different ball game for me. Don't really pay attention to it, but I'm understanding that options means, from my experience, I understand that when options expire, there's a release of liquidity. So, back to the TDI. All right. What is a TVT setup? TVT setup is a trend v trend. Okay. A trend v trend is no different to rise, retrace, continuation to the upside. Okay. It's just a pattern. It's a pattern formation. Okay. It's when price rises up, comes down, and continues back up. That's what it is. Trend v trend. All right. Now, TDI, for those who will need to understand, it just means it's a posh RSI. How do you use it? Simple. You're looking for these shark fin, inverted shark fins at the lows and shark fins at the highs. A true inclination that things are going to change is when price comes up above the TDI, above the volatility band. So these blue lines here are like Bollinger Bands. Okay. They determine volatility in price. Right? When you see the RSI, which is a green line, come above the come above the volatility band, it means that the market is moving. What you're waiting for, the moment it does break out of the volatility band, you're expecting a retrace or a continuation. Okay? That's what you're looking for. You're looking for a shark fin outside the volatility band. The moment price or the RSI comes back into the volatility band, the clear confirmation is when price cuts when the RSI cuts above the market signal. The market signal is the red line right here. That's the trigger. All right. So by that token, if we look at price and then we look at this RSI point down here, we look at it like this. Check this out. So price comes all the way back down. Volatility is favoring lower prices. So price drops, comes back down into the volatility band. And you can see there's a little bit of divergence. This point is lower than this point. All right. And the RSI itself is not as wide, or should I say there's not that much of a shark fin as compared to the previous low that was made. So price is closing higher as it's dropping. There's your divergence. Okay. Now, when price comes back up, when it stabilizes in and around this point here, all right, you're waiting for the signal to come in. So the moment that price crosses over the signal line is when this candle finishes. Now, this TDI here does populate in real time, okay, but it's based on the close. So it moves, all right, in very small, just pay attention to the close of each candle. That's the best way I can say it to you, all right? So at the close of this candle here, this 1 hour candle, that is when it crossed over, okay? At that point, you've got the signal, in essence. So then you're expecting price now to make its way towards the market base. And this is the RSI, the yellow line. And then you're anticipating that if the momentum or the volatility from the market maker, okay, if it's going to come in, it should work towards the outer volatility band to the upside. And then you're going to see the same again. So as long as you see shark fins on the volatility band, these are effectively your entry points. But like I said to you, don't rely solely on the RSI, on this TDI. It is great to add confluence to confluence. All right? Look at this. You're looking for price to come outside the volatility band. Okay? Today, it didn't come outside the volatility band. Even though price today completely dropped, it did not come outside the volatility band. That's really important because it means that as much as the move was very strong to the downside, all right, it was a move that was manipulated by the market maker, installing fear in the retail trader, okay? When price comes out the volatility band, guys, market makers are moving. When it stays within the volatility bands, it's a good chance that the retail trader's trying to step in. So everybody blame Steve for today. That's the best thing I can say to you, okay? Now, the key to the TDI itself, all right, if you're going to start trading these marginal points where you see these bits here, all right, stay away from them, okay? You want to only look at the TDI when it's outside the volatility band, and you can see it always comes towards the volatility band. There's always a moment in the charts that they do it, okay? Now, this is on the 1 hour time frame, guys, all right? If you drop down a time frame, you're going to start seeing more peaks at the volatility band because you're going to a smaller time frame. Drop down again to the 5 minute. What are you going to see? More. Look at that. Now, if you look at today's volatility band when they actually dropped down to the low, funnily enough, what happened? What is this? How many of you are listening? How many of you are paying attention to the concept? What is this, guys? What was the clue? What is this area here? Someone say it, please. Stop. Who said it? Who said it? CJ, well done. CJ said it. New York reversal. All right. See, when you look at the volatility band at the New York reversal, okay, just look what happened here. Outside the, it's inside the volatility band, so there's no signal for you. All right, it's just stuck at the market base. Okay, but we had notable volume coming into the chart. Very important. So where there isn't any information on the RSI, refer back to the candles, refer back to the moving average, refer back to the fact that we've had the Brinks box, stop, hunt, low, rise. Refer to the fact that we are in the New York session, so there could be a pending reversal. All right? Don't always rely on the RSI. On the higher time frame, it's valid. Okay? But the lower time frames, right, you do get a lot of fake spots. Now, could you have traded this? All right? Could you have made any commitment based off this move off the RSI? Well, if you saw this inverted pattern right here, fair enough. You would have understood that that was divergence, and very strong divergence at the same time. Look. From this point here, you've got your divergence. And what else do you see? A mini W formation outside towards the volatility band, back inside. Price comes up to the market base, comes back, shark fin inverted. Then it commits and goes above the market signal. All right? Then it rides all the way up. Beautiful move to the upside. Yeah? But just be careful with the RSI. Use it as a point of reference. Don't make it the basis of your decision. All right. Now that Bitcoin has come above the RSI, the volatility band, and it's come back in. All right. Where it's at right now, we are effectively expecting a retrace. That's fine. It's going to test the market signal and hopefully continue back up. But we are going to need to see price to come back down just a little bit. It's going to try and hold its gains for the day. It's a very sharp move to the upside. We will only know their intention once Sydney opens and once Hong Kong steps in. All right? They may bring price back down to recover this vector candle. It will be a plausible thing, but it all depends on how Asia responds to tonight. See, if you look on the 15-minute time frame, key point on there is the 50 EMA. It's coming back towards the 50 EMA. It's going to take the previous daily open, all right? It's fine if it comes to that point. The 200 EMA is flat, which is the 50 EMA on the 1 hour time frame, okay? Some people will be calling this a head and shoulders, an M formation, but you need to understand where's the RSI. Well, the RSI is now coming down towards, it's broken the market base, okay? Could we now see a vector or a V-shape shark fin move back up? All right. If you drop onto the 4 hour time frame, It's just coming above the market base. So things are going to start turning. So it all depends on the way you look at the candles. All right. And it all depends on the time frame that you're trading. That's what's really important. All right. Okay. What have we got here? Let me have a look at your comments. Oh, are you all good on that, guys? I believe the Brinks box is there. Could this be the formation of the first leg of a new W retrace to recover the vector for the second leg? Valid. Ape Asylum, that is a valid quote. That is very possible. Okay. Could this be the start of a new W formation? All right. So what do? We draw out. This is our low. All right. Now we are expecting price to come back into the zone. But the thing is, price hasn't come back to the 50 yet. That's what I need it to do. This could be a V-shaped move to the upside. That's what this move could be. All right. But we will only know when the Sydney session opens, guys. There's nothing else we can do other than wait. Okay. We just need to sit tight and wait for history to make itself. Can you review the nearby liquidity points? Yeah, sure. All right, then. The liquidity points. Drop onto the 1 hour time frame. That's what you need to do. When you're trying to determine liquidity points, drop to the 1 hour time frame first. What do you see? So this is the nearest liquidity point that I can see on the 1 hour. We've got 34,345 as one of the points. Of course, this candle goes all the way here, which we have kind of tapped. All right. But price has pulled back down. We now need to see if they will bring price back up into this zone. Once price comes into this zone, that's when we are going to look to see higher prices, because in this zone is where the psychological high and low are nearby. All right. So we've still got a lot of work to do. This very strong move is the market maker pretty much doing one or two things. It's either encouraging taking out the stops, or he's starting to close off his longs at higher prices. All right. Now look what's happening here. Pin, 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 pin. They're working this area, trying to tap the lows. People that are going to get caught to trade the 50 EMA retrace back down. Okay, they're taking their orders. Granted, price may even come back down, and that's fine. Okay, it's better than where it was. Okay, but remember, if you look back, look what happened here. This vector candle, price came back towards it, but it came back nearly 2 weeks after. Okay, so although the move from this point here was very strong, we will only know if it means that they do favor higher prices if they start moving back up. That's the only thing that is left to determine. All right. The next zones in terms of the liquidity itself. All right. If you zoom out on the 15-minute time frame, you can see we've got psychological low right there. So you've got one pull right there. So we draw that off. And then you've got a couple up here. All right. These are the zones. But we need to break this point. This is the point we need to break first. Other than that, there's nothing else for us to do. You can see on the 15-minute time frame, they're trying to test the 50 EMA. Notice how it's come back down to today's daily open. All right. So sorry, from yesterday's session, which was today, but you know what I'm saying. All right. They're trying to stabilize in and around that zone. RSI's come outside the market base. So we really want to see price come back up. Sydney session is going to be coming into play soon. Right now, it's the market makers' dead time. All right, it's where they can really manipulate the spreads, piss about with everything. All right, and then when Sydney opens, we're going to get wind of how Bitcoin's going to perform. All right, something has triggered the price to move up. All right, they've been dropping for so long. The market maker now needs to make some money. All right, and what better time to start going long is when you've encouraged so many people to go short. All right. Now, you got to remember, guys, even if Bitcoin does come back down lower, the fact is sentiment changed and trapped so many traders. All right. Now, how many traders are trying to go long on Bitcoin? Well, before you start considering going long, you need to wait for the clear signal. You need to make sure that intention is there and momentum is favoring higher prices by the 13 EMA coming up and closing above the 50 EMA, so that you're in line with the average. you're in line with the way that they want to try and keep price into the fray. Because if you're still trying to place longs whilst Bitcoin is below the 50 EMA, it's entering prematurely. You need to wait for a clear confirmation that they do favor higher prices. Okay? Yeah, I know Sydney might be open already. Okay, I've had this conversation before with a few people. One person said Sydney doesn't open for another 2 hours. One person says I'm sat in my office in Sydney 9 a.m. so it's open. So, but it could be the actual futures market. I mean, I just go by what this broker says on this platform. It says here that it's 20 to 8 in the morning. So the pre-market is going to be kicking off in Sydney soon. All right. The way you decide, great question, Espresso. The way you determine liquidity is pretty, if you're understanding what the market maker's trying to do. Okay, so now we're seeing quite a big move right now. They want to come back towards the 50 on, which is the 13 EMA on the 15-minute time frame. Sorry, on the 1 hour time frame. I just need to pay attention to that right now. It's a little bit of a controlled move to the downside. That's fine. All right, listen. How do you determine liquidity? Simple. Look back. Because for every vector candle that you see, price always comes back towards it. Now, if we zoom out on the 1 hour time frame, you can see ever so closely that for every red vector candle that you see, sorry, every green candle that you see on the left, you're going to see a candle preceding it. All right? Because it's the market maker building positions. He builds his shorts at the highest possible point, and then he starts to dump them on the way down. He only enters short when price is rising because shorts are about getting the highest possible point. Would you go short here or would you go short here? That's the question. Do you want to be a retail trader? You probably go short down here. You are a market maker? You probably go short within reason. You probably go short from that point. Okay? But if you're building like a market maker, you start going short from here. And from here. And from here. And from here. And then when you start offloading your shorts, it gets busy at the highs. Drop. Drop. Retrace continuation to the downside. Drop. Profit. Drop. Profit. Drop. Profit. Drop. Profit. You get the idea. Nice little point of profit there. Taken. Point of profit. Taken. Point of profit. Taken. Point of profit. Restart the whole process. All right. Might sound a bit confusing, guys, but welcome to trading. We've got new 1 hour candle coming into play in 15 minutes time. All right, so we've got to sit tight. I know there's a 4-minute delay on here, but that's the nature of this platform. Can't do anything about that. Included on TradingView says Sydney is open. So there you go, Sydney's open. Okay. Sydney is open, but I'm talking pre-market. I don't understand why there's a delay on there. I don't get it. It tells me that's 8 a.m. All right, it's 7:45 in the morning, so I just go by this time. I don't do anything until the first hour after 10 o'clock. Between 10 and 11, that's when the market maker really twists things up in the chart. All right, so I stay away from opening any trades at this point. Don't even trade during the Asian session anyway, all right, because it's just a dodgy time to be trading. In light of Forex, that is. Okay, cryptocurrency, different story. Bitcoin isn't falling fast, right? You knew what Bitcoin was doing earlier on today. That was fast, all right? This is just a slight pullback to the 13 EMA on the 1 hour time frame. If it breaks that, then it's going to be interesting. It has now come back below yesterday's daily open, but it's done that ever so small. So I'm not really concerned about that. But granted, they could actually come back down. The most that I'll be to contend that they are going to go lower is if it breaks this point right here. If Bitcoin breaks the 31,796 point, then granted, we could actually see price going lower. All right. But they've come out of the zone. Is this move the fake move? Is this just to take out the stops to rise price back up and then continue back down? We will know once they start taking this zone right here. All right. We need to see price coming up and favoring a close above the 50 EMA on the 1 hour before we consider anything. If we look down on the lower time frames, what are we seeing? Vector candle right there. Here we go. So Vector candle has come now all the way back down towards, see that little M formation? Happy days. All right, outside, here we go. Here is the TDI in real time. Outside the volatility band, we are expecting the TDI now to reverse back up. Okay, it needs to bring things back into the fray. It's oversold on that principle of the RSI. So it's outside the volatility band. We're expecting it now to come back in and come above the market signal and try and make a break back up. Based on that principle itself, we've got price back down towards the Asian session midpoint from yesterday, okay? And we've got the 200 EMA, which looks like it is pointing upwards, and we've got price below the 50 EMA. So right now they're trying to stabilize. You see a red vector candle, which means that we are going to see, hopefully, price come back up to recover this red vector candle, okay? So it looks like a stop punt low rise in the Asian session. Sydney, for the sake of arguments, opens in 10 minutes time, or a new hour candle starts in 10 minutes time. Okay, so we're going to wait and see if they do try and make way back towards the daily open. Yeah, but it needs to stabilize in this zone. Very important zone for them to stabilize. You can see the vector candles on the way up. They do get recovered somewhat and then they move away. Look at this green vector. Rise up, come back down, and then they move out again. Rise up, come down, move again, rise up, create the climatic point, and then they move down, buy the dip, trap the traders, drop. Okay, so now we're coming towards a test of the 200 EMA. All right, now look at what's going on. Ideally, the next 5-minute candle, which prints in 1 minute, in 45 seconds time, should bring the RSI back up. All right, and it's going to be a sharp move back up, which will then show us the actual shark fin. So you're going to see it in real time, guys. So pay attention to the chart. I'm going to leave it there so that you guys can see it. Yes, all right, yeah. Yeah, Praetorian, you're actually correct. Oh. Someone mentioned the word podcast, Patreon, and nothing came up on the Streamlabs thing. I just noticed it hasn't been coming up at all. Time wave, no problem, man. Yeah, I just read your message, Mike. This looks like it's the first. Here you go. Here you go. New candle. There you go. Look at that. That principally looks like the start of a shark fin back into the volatility pan. Does that mean it's a valid entry? Well, look, no, it's not, because it all depends on... Look, I'm not saying it's an entry point to blindly just make an entry on that principle, but what it's saying to you is, has volatility now stopped towards the downside? Because it is outside the volatility band. Has it stopped? Well, we will only know if the volatility slows down and the RSI comes back up and crosses above the market signal. The red vector candle is now being recovered. Okay? They're trying to keep price above yesterday's open. All right? It means they favor higher prices, but until they do close higher and move above and come towards the M3 zone and at least finish above the daily open and trade higher, the bias is still, you know, we ain't going nowhere yet. All right. We'll wait another 3 more minutes for the next part of this. This RSI should now cross above the volatility band. So it's starting to try and come back up. All right. You're going to start seeing the power of this in a short moment. And it's easy to talk about it in hindsight, but in real time, you're going to understand how to apply it. All right. So important you get that. Hindsight doesn't teach you nothing. All right. It just tells you what has happened and what is going to happen in the next few candles based on, you know, just going back. It's easy to learn like that. You're only learning visually then. Okay. You're training your eyes to visualize a pattern and a behavior in the candlesticks. But when you're applying it in real time, you will only know if you understand it. All right. Based on how it plays out in real time. All right. So now here we go. The RSI is now moving back in towards the volatility band. All right. So it prints in real time. Okay. But the close is where you see the shift. All right, that's what's important. Those little boings, if you can hear them. Yeah. Yeah, it is bouncing off the market base. Ape Asylum, it's bouncing off the market base, but you've got to remember, the bounce is away from the market base. Every time it came away from that point, stayed within the volatility band. Came above it, stayed within the volatility, well, came outside the volatility band and then back inside. Came away from it, broke above it, came back down outside the volatility band. In other words, every time it comes out the volatility band, okay, and comes back in, price comes up, and then it's going to start to look to go down. However, there's going to be a change in sentiment soon, all right? By simply relying on the 5-minute time frame to determine the whole cycle of Bitcoin, no, you can't do that. You base it off the 5-minute. And it's what people do. They look down at the 5-minute time frame and say, oh, look at the divergence, look at this, look at that. And then they go to the 1-hour time frame and they say, hold on a second, why is it still moving up? It should be going down. All right. 1 more minute until that candle finishes. Okay, so now it's starting to come back down now. So they're still not finished with this point. But we are coming in towards a new hour candle in a short moment. Let me flip over to the 1-hour time frame. What are we getting? We're getting spikes. No vector. There's no vector on this candle, which is good news. Okay, it just looks like they're spiking the lows and going to try and come back up in the next candle. They've actually hit the 13 EMA. Actually, no. 13 EMA's right here. They haven't touched it. So they're just spiking, and now they're going to try and come back up above yesterday's open. It's so strong that they've actually opened higher today. It's really important that they've done that. 15-minute time frame, flip over towards that. Here we go. Nice controlled move. Outside the market base, nowhere near a volatility band. Ideally, I want to see this move back up, drop down to the 5-minute time frame again. What are we seeing? All right, rejection right there. It's going to try and slowly. This looks like it's going to be a curved shark fin. There you go. Looks like a bit of a W formation. Can you see that? Look. It's like a little W. One, rise, retrace, continuation up. So this now should bring price back into the volatility band. If it crosses over the market signal, we should see then price come back up. Here we go. Price getting busy before the 1-hour candle opens. New 1-hour candle. It's coming back up towards yesterday's daily open. Really important. Have you ever paid attention to the start of an Asian session? You always see a move away from the daily open. Okay, it's either going to be to the upside or to the downside. They're always going to move away from that point. And the start of those candles, you can really zoom in on the 1-minute time frame and get inkling as to what they plan on doing at that point. So if you zoom out, how could we know about price coming away from this point? Well, firstly, this big gap down in price tries to spike up, comes back down, hits the daily open on this candle, fails to close above it, drops down, finds support at the 200, makes one last attempt, and then the vector candle comes in. So for the time being, away from the daily open, they're trading below it. So they move away from the daily and then they test it back up in, well, throughout the remaining session. Ideally, we want to see it come back up towards that point. Look at the vector candles in and around this zone right here. So principally, we are expecting price to come back up. RSI, look, outside the volatility band, back inside, then again outside the volatility band, but this time they shift out of the zone. W formation, up it goes. Rise, retrace, continuation to the upside. See the pattern? Right there. I ain't anything. So I'm not bearish, I'm not bullish. I'm just focusing on the momentum that comes into the price. That's where you don't want to get caught up in between biases of where they think Bitcoin's going to go. All right. If we go on the basis we're bearish and we're bullish, okay, does that mean from today's behavior, those of you who were bears, all right, you would have left a lot of money on the table. A lot of money, and you probably would have lost a lot. if you're bears. Okay? The idea behind bearish and bullish is sentiment. That's all it is. It doesn't mean that the candlesticks represent bullish, bearish as such. All right? When you see price rising, people think the bulls are in control when really the market maker is building his shorts. All right? But you've got to understand in context, where have we come from? We have come from price completely dropping to the downside. The market maker is bullish. That's the only time you care about it. He's very bullish. He is so bullish, it hurts. Now, that is probably something really difficult for you to understand if you are new to the stream, but we trade the way the Composite man trades. If you don't know who the Composite man is, check him out. Okay. So, Bitcoin now has returned back above the daily open. Drop onto the 5-minute RSI. What have we got? Coming back above it. Happy days. RSI now has turned above the market signal. That is a curved shark fin. So it looks like it's a controlled move to the upside. And now we're going to wait and see if they are going to move back up towards the daily open, which is likely. And the RSI is going to continue to test the market base. The market base will bring price towards the daily open. It's at that point where we will know if they are going to continue higher. But the failure of this vector candle towards the downside, all it did was just trigger some guys to go short at the break of the 5-minute time frame. Remember, there are also not just retail traders, but there are banks, hedge funds that have algorithms designed to open positions at the break of certain moving averages on the smaller time frames. Okay, they don't sit and wait for all, you know, a 4-hour candle to print. They are opening and closing trades. These vector candles that step in are to induce those algorithms to get positions open so market maker can fulfill those algorithm orders, and then he can get his orders filled at a lower point so he can close them higher later on. Why does price come back and recover that vector? It hasn't done it by accident. It's because they open short longs at lower prices and then they close them at higher prices later on. Okay? Based on the intention of this move right here will determine whether or not it continues up. We add the confluences. Price has come back down towards the Asian low. Okay? Show support at the 200 EMA. There's the RSI. Look at the RSI now working towards the market base. A clear break above that will send price higher. And then we should be aiming for the actual volatility band up here. But we haven't seen the volatility band to the upside in quite a while. All right? So we need to see if this is going to be a valid move to the upside. Drop onto the 1-hour time frame. Okay, so we've now, new 1-hour candle is going to form. It's forming on all the other platforms, but MT4 has a delay because it's an electronic central network. All right, there's always going to be a delay. The reason being is because if I had access to that, all right, I would have to be paying easy 50, 60 grand a month and get the same price feeds as what the banks do and all the bigger players. And then we get the prices. Do you understand? I'm not going to be paying 50k a month for the sake of 4 or 5 minutes. I'd wait. Okay? So, here we go. 1-hour candle. A lot of strength in this move. Came down and moved back up. Exactly what we wanted them to do. Why? Because they're working the lows and then bringing price back up. Jump back down to the 5-minute time frame because we are now going to see price come back towards the daily open. Market base is now being tested. Prices are going to come up above that point. It needs to continue from that point because every time it does go above it, it pulls back down. All right? But we need to add the confluences. We can't just make the assumption that because on the 5-minute time frame, it's gone above the market base and then it pulls back down means it's going to do it again. You've got to remember, this is much more volatile than what this move was. Okay? So they're coming up. We're going to see if their intention is true. If they break above the daily open, happy days. All right? They will make traction towards the 800 EMA. All right? But we need to wait for that to happen. In the next 3-4 minutes time, we're going to see price. We're going to see a new 1-hour candle, which is going to make the difference between what's going to happen now and if whether or not they actually try and take out some of the liquidity up here. If they break above the 800 EMA, guys, Bitcoin is just going to fly up because it's just coming to very strong points in the chart. All right? There is a lot of movement happening right now. So we just need to sit tight and wait for that move to happen. RSI now coming back up on the 5-minute time frame needs to close above the market base for me to really convict that it's actually going to continue higher. I need to have a drink because my mouth is dry as a pie. Jesus. The stopping volume on the daily, where's that? Let's have a look. I know, bro. Unbelievable. Evening star pattern, if I'm correct. Or morning star. Evening star. No, morning star. There we go. This is an inside job. Inside day candle. For those who know. If it finishes like this. But we've got this vector candle here, which is so promising, man. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. All right. So promising. Let's see. All right. 2 more minutes until the next hour candle gets formed on MT4, guys. All right. Let me just drop this down here. And we're going to see if the momentum is going to step in. What I'd like you guys to do is to pull up a 1 minute time frame on your hour on the charts if you've got them. Okay. Just look at, if you're on MT4, that is, okay, because you would have missed it on the actual break of the hour. But look, daily open in sight. Happy days. RSI, volatility band, outside the volatility band, rise, retrace, continuation. Didn't we just look at the 1 minute time frame a moment ago? Yeah, there's the pattern. Rise, retrace, continuation. All right, wonderful. Now, 2 more minutes until a new 1 hour candle. I hope you guys are enjoying this. All right. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Man, I just need to slow down, man. Shit. The daily open is at 10 p.m. every night. Okay. Every single night, it's 10 p.m. That's the daily open. All right. There is no financial advice in this stream, all right? I'm going to tell you how to learn for yourself. I'm going to try and help you guys make your own decisions because, look, how many times am I going to tell you to buy and sell? All right? You're going to want to do it for yourself, yeah? Work on your own agenda. That's what this stream is about. This stream is about helping you understand this strategy, helping you understand the composite man's behavior. Composite man is the market maker, okay? The master of illusion. He's the guy that moves price in one direction, gets you committed to a trade, and then changes the direction and takes out your stops. He's the guy that does all that. He's the guy that triggers everybody to go short when really he's going long. All right? Here we go. New hour candle in play. Let's see the momentum. Here we go. Right. Drop into the 1 hour candle. Always look at the 1 hour candle at the start, just so I can see where they want to send price. It's wicked. We could see a recovery. They may bring price down towards the 5 EMA. Tap that and move back up. Let's see. RSI on the 5 minute time frame. Let's have a look. Drop across there. Where are we gone? Here we go. So it's gone above the market base. All right. Is history going to repeat itself? Is it going to stagnate at the market base? Because the market signal needs to come up. So it may stabilize in this point. All right. It needs to come. It needs to just continue higher to solidify this whole point that I'm trying to get across about the TDI. Okay, then. They listen to what I say. Fair enough. Good lads. Good lads. Thank you, Mr. Market Maker. You're too kind this evening. All right, then. So, RSI on the 1 minute time frame's coming down now. All right, so that's fine. The 200 and the 50 have crossed. All right. So I'm happy with price to stay in and around this zone. Price has crossed the 13 EMA's crossed the 50 EMA on the 1 minute, but that doesn't mean anything anyway. All right, it's just a change in the direction of the trade itself. Okay. Notable volume has brought price all the way down and now they're shifting back up. We are going to hit the daily open. The strength is there to hit the daily open. All right. Drop on the 15-minute time frame. What do we see? We see the RSI coming back up. Okay, we got a little bit of a inverted shark fin at this point. Volatility bands are so expanded, man. It's crazy. Unbelievable. There we go. There's the move. There's the move. Okay, then. Rightio. Whew. Man. There's our little move right there. Sorry about that, guys. Just taking an intermittent. Where was the confirmation to go long on the reversal today? Great question. Here was the confirmation to go long. All right. You have to collate a number of confluences together. Okay. And those confluences start with the smaller time frames. Right. This is how you do it. Firstly, we understand something about the New York session. It implies a reversal. Okay. Just go and look in the charts, guys. Go back in time. For every time price rises in the London session, it's the New York session that sends it down lower. Okay. Go and do that. Go and train your eyes, because that's what you need to see, because these patterns happen over and over again. And for the record, this is a day trading strategy. I don't care about Bitcoin in the next 6 months. I don't care where it's going to go in the next 3 days. All I care about is what it's doing right now, because that's all I've got. You know, the greatest player in chess will only think about the next move ahead. That is it. He ain't going to be thinking about 10, 12 moves ahead. He may know what to expect in 10 moves ahead, okay? But he focuses on the current move, because the opposite, the guy against him, he could change at a moment's notice. And if he's paying attention to what's going on in the future or too far ahead, he's going to miss what's happening now. He ain't going to take it seriously. He ain't going to say, hold on, he's just shifted the bishop directly across, and now my rook is being threatened. But then what's really happening, if he starts not thinking about that move and starts thinking, yeah, well, his king is all the way over there, I'm going to, move my king. He ends up moving a pawn in a position which opens him for check. Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't waste time focusing on too much ahead of time. Focus on what you've got now, because every moment in the marketplace is unique. If you have gone and got the book, Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone, go to Amazon and buy it. All right, Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone. I haven't got a link to provide you. Just go and search Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone. All right, and read that book. That book has had a massive impact on me. Absolute massive impact. It's helping me. It helped me understand the concept of probabilities in this game, which the summary of probabilities is pay to play. That's the nature of the game. Collate as much information as you can about what price is doing at this point in time and make your decision. So how could we have determined the reversal in today's move? All right. Well, price was coming down from dropping. Okay. Bitcoin has been dropping for quite some time. So we were understanding that the market maker needed to change direction at some point, because he's building longs at lower prices. Why is it when price is at its most climatic point is when it reverses? Because they have trapped the traders. Okay. They have trapped the traders to a committed direction. They've got their bias committed to the downside. That's where the liquidity is to go short, and that's where the market maker goes long. Remember, retail traders can only sell if there is someone there buying. Likewise, retail trader can only buy if someone is there to sell to him. Okay? Because where are they going to get the liquidity from when they want to close their positions in profit? Right? The liquidity needs to be matched up. You can't match your buy order with another buy order, because you'll have 2 buy orders. You match your buy order with a sell order, because when you want to profit, you're going to take the liquidity from the sell. And then when you lose on your long, all right, the sell contract takes your liquidity. That's how it works. So back to the how to determine today's reversal. On the 5-minute time frame, this vector candle appeared. The Brinks box initiated a stop hunt low, and then they shifted out of the zone. The reversal of New York was triggered by this vector candle right here. They spiked price up, and then they brought it back down, but they finished higher. Price was so extended away from the 50 EMA, so we anticipated price to come back towards it. Because they moved away from it at this point, traded away, now we need to see it back into the fray. The New York reversal. The futures market opens at this point right here, 9:30, and that's New York in full swing. The Brinks box sets up the stop hunt low, triggers the retail traders to go short, then they spike up the stops, and then that's when they trigger price to move higher. Price comes above the 5 and the 13 EMA on the 5-minute time frame. Flip over to the actual RSI itself. You can see a shark fin, inverted shark fin right there. Divergence is at its play, because look, comes down lower, and the RSI itself is showing, look, RSI is still within the volatility band. So it was a BS move to the downside. Okay. And then from that point, RSI crosses over the market signal, goes above the market base, and then it starts making its move. Where is your confirmation? Well, you take all that information and then you pay to play. Confirmation is confirmed when you pay to play. That's the nature of the game. Let's have a look at what, oh, there we go. Daily open has now been worked on. It's now coming back towards it. Happy days. Vector candle has confirmed itself. Daily open in sight. 800 EMA should be playing out. All right. So for the few people that are in the stream saying I'm talking nonsense, well, there's no nonsense behind understanding why price has come back to this point, especially when it was down here. All right. I'm trying to help as many people as I can to understand this game. I've spent too many years staring at these charts. All right. Do we get it right all the time? Nope. But when we're right, we are right. That's the nature of this game, guys. So where do we project it to go? Simple. Drop to the 1 hour time frame. Let's look at the bigger picture. Notice how spike the low, spike, 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 spike. And now they're trying to pull back up. Now, granted, we could see price come back down, but just look at the candlesticks. Look at what they're doing. There's a lot of aggressive movement in this zone. Why are they containing this point? All right. Are they actually setting up a stop, hunt, rise, drop? We will only know once it breaks. But look, the daily open is now being worked. They keep trying to push up, up, up. All right. It's the first 15 minutes of the Sydney market. Now, I know it's already open, but I'm going off the time on here. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, I got rid of the guy. Okay, then. Let's just see what's going to happen next. All right. Here we go. What's the RSI doing? I'm paying attention to the RSI right now, guys, because there's a lot of people that have been asking about it. All right. So just remember, this RSI on my chart right here is no different to the normal RSI. The only difference is it labels out the divergence. Okay. Now, to be honest with you, if anything, it just starts to clog up my chart. All right. You don't need arrows to confirm that. To be honest with you, I'm getting rid of these arrows, actually. I don't need these arrows in my face. They don't mean anything. All right. Get rid of them. Drop. Drop. Squeeze. I'm not interested in that. Okay. There we go. It needs to be nice and clean. My charts are chaotic to the best of times. All right, then. If you are new to the channel, guys, welcome aboard. All right. My name's Tino. This is Traders Reality. And I just talk about charts. I talk about how the markets... I talk about the business model behind the marketplace. All right. And it's not the way you think it is. Because if you think it's the way you think it is, how is it possible for it to operate? If buyers are, if price is rising, it means the buyers are in control. No, that's not true. You need to understand the true concept behind buying and selling. All right. Do not confuse retail buying and selling with marketplace buying and selling. It's different because it's a zero-sum game. When you go into retail, you exchange money for an item. There is a fair exchange. Okay, you believe that that t-shirt is worth $15, 15 pounds, 15 yen, whatever. Okay, you pay that money and you get the t-shirt. And this chart, in this game, when you buy, okay, you're just buying in anticipation for the value of it to go up. As it's going up, you're eating away at someone else's liquidity. That someone else is the market maker. Okay. Likewise, when you're selling, you're eating away at someone else's liquidity. That's the market maker's liquidity. Our goal is to catch the market maker's move. If price is rising, it means that the market maker is moving out of a zone or he's building his shorts. Now, do we make that entry and see how long we can ride the shorts? all right, and ride the move to the upside and then get ready to go short when the market maker is going short, that's down to us, all right? So, quickly, looking at price right now, it's spiked the daily open and come back down, all right? Looking on the 5-minute time frame, it's coming back down towards the 50. The thing is now, guys, the 50 EMA is flat. There's nothing for it right now. It is flat, so we're going to see this behavior back and forth for a little while. Okay? They may even come back down towards the test this zone right here. I believe it's going to get very interesting once Tokyo steps in. All right? Once Tokyo steps in, which is in about an hour and a half or so, that's when it's going to get interesting. Actually, the pre-market in Tokyo opens at 8 a.m. So it's going to be interesting in the next 45 minutes or so. All right? Cool. On that token, guys, I'm going to bid you well. If you are new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. If not, I hope you have actually taken something from this stream. Okay? Mad love to everybody. Patreons, congratulations on today. I apologize for that stage setup. It wasn't working the way we anticipated it to, but it was a Discord thing. All right? But I just want to say thank you to everybody that's passing through. All the vets that have been coming here from day one. Mad love to all of you. All right, and I'm going to catch up with you guys tomorrow morning. Make sure you join the projections channel because we did a video today on trying to understand today's move. Okay, you know what? If China dump, China dump. Happy days. All right, we understand what's going on, but I don't know if they're going to dump it, man. There's been a very big move today. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that. All right, mad love and respect to all of you. All right, I hope you've done good today, and I hope you've understood what happened today in the charts. Today's price action was critical. It was perfect for your screen time exposure. All right, so go and enjoy yourselves, guys. Mad love and respect. Peace.